Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. You want to win in this upcoming year? You got to join me for this episode of The Daily Dose of Dave on the Inside BS channel. Hey now, I'm Dave Lorenzo, and this is your Daily Dose of Dave on the Inside BS channel. I'm here every day with some business growth strategy for you. We're also here with great interviews. Join me every Wednesday for a great interview with my partner, Nikki G, on the Inside BS show with The Godfather and Nikki G. Today's show is about winning and what you need to do in order to win this year or this week or this month even. And I'm going to give you my 4-step process for success accomplishing a goal. You can apply this 4-step process to whatever you want to accomplish this day, this week, this month, this year. So use the strategy that I'm going to share with you. Make it a tool that's part of your toolbox moving forward to help you become successful. Now, before we get into the 4 steps, the simple phrase that I used at the beginning of this show is so valuable. It's so instructive. It's so important for you that I want to spend a couple of minutes focused on it, drilling down on it, and making sure that you and I are on the same page. We spend a lot of time comparing ourselves to other people. And actually, we've created an entire generation of people. We're developing an entire generation of people. I see it in my kids that lives based on comparisons to others. People who are on Instagram, people who are watching reality TV, people who are reading things or watching videos on TikTok or YouTube that constantly draw comparisons between what this person who's featured in these videos or images has physically or what they have materialistically and what we have. And that's not what winners do. Winners focus on a goal, they focus on an outcome, and then they align their lives and their behavior with everything that needs to be done to accomplish that goal. Your focus has to be on you and your improvement if your goal is to win. So here are the 4 steps that I take in order for me to win. So when I built a huge business, these are the 4 steps that I took. When I lost weight, these are the 4 steps that I took. When I improved my health outcomes, these are the 4 steps that I took. Step number 1 is define winning for this situation. What does winning mean? What is your ultimate goal? What is the outcome you're looking for? And I thought it would be helpful for us to have a specific target, a specific example that we can carry through with these 4 steps. So for our purposes, I'm going to define winning for this exercise, and it's a legitimate outcome that I'm looking to drive, by the way. I'm a member of an organization called ProVisors. It is a networking organization for professionals. I am a big proponent of this organization because it's high-quality people who share a common purpose, and the common purpose is to help one another be successful in business. It's not only people of goodwill who come together on a regular basis with the same purpose, with the same outcome in mind. It's also folks who are interested in developing business through relationships. So I've developed a lot of really good, very close friendships in my 3.5 years participating in this organization. And those friendships have also helped me grow my business. So it serves multiple purposes for me. My goal for this year, one of my goals for this year, is to help 500 ProVisors members become successful. So I want to help 500 members of this organization become successful. Now, there's over 10,000 members in the organization, but for me and my activity this year, I want to help 500 ProVisors members become successful. So that's defining winning in this situation. I win when I help ProVisors members. I will, by December 31st, 2025, have helped 500 ProVisors members succeed. Now, what does that mean? I will have connected them with someone who can do business with them. I will connect them with someone who can work with them. I will connect them with someone who can advance their goals, help them achieve their goals, help them achieve what they're looking to accomplish. So my goal, winning for me in 2025, looks like helping 500 ProVisors members be successful. Step number 2 is block time for this. Block your time to take the actions necessary to achieve the goals. So what does this mean? Well, how you invest your time determines your priorities. So in order to help the 500 ProVisors members, what do I need to do? Well, I need to lead my ProVisors group every month, and that's going to take 2 hours for the actual meeting. And then the preparation for that meeting takes about an additional 5 hours a month. So that's 7 hours total. And then I'm also going to need to attend at least 3 other ProVisors meetings every month. And why do I say 3? Because my meeting is here in South Florida, but I also want to be able to help other ProVisors members in Chicago. I want to be able to help other ProVisors members in New York. So I want to attend 1 meeting in Chicago and 1 meeting in New York every month. So that's at least another 2-4 hours. And then I want to attend an industry focus group, which ProVisors calls affinity groups. So I want to attend at least one of those. So that's an additional 6 hours. So the 7 hours I'm investing in my group and the 6 hours I'm investing in these other groups, that's 13 hours. Then there's at least an hour of follow-up for every hour that you're investing in going to a meeting or preparing for a meeting. So if I'm investing 13 hours in preparing for my meeting and then attending these other meetings, I'm also going to invest another 13 hours a month in following up. In other words, having group meetings after those meetings. There's 2 or 3 people that I've met in these groups that are interesting. ProVisors calls these follow-up meetings troikas, or I may want to do one-on-one meetings with people afterwards. So it's at least another 13 hours that I'm going to have to invest just in meeting time alone with pre-prep and then post-activity and attending the meeting. So that's 26 hours per month I'm going to have to invest. Now, in order to maximize my ability to help ProVisors members, I want to help 500. So I'm going to need to figure out how to come in contact with at least 5 times that number. Because if I reach out to 500, I'm probably only going to get 100 people who connect with me and whom I can help. So my focus has to be on 5xing, 5 times the number of people. So I have to reach out to 2,500 people in order to connect with and help 500. I may connect with 1,000, but I may only be able to help half of them. So to help 500, I have to reach out to 2,500. So we already know that I have to invest 26 hours in meetings. That's the time I'm going to need to invest. So I'm going to block off another hour a day for outreach, going through lists of members, picking the people specifically who I know I can help, people who I think I have really good connections for, people who I can introduce to folks who are helpful. So I'm going to pick the targets that I can reach out to, who I can help the best. So I'm going to have to pick at least 2,500 people so that I can identify them, and they're people who I know I have connections that I can already help. So those 2,500 people, I'm going to have to invest an hour a day doing the research, making 2 or 3 bullet point notes for my emails and direct mail pieces that I'm going to use to reach out to them. So I got to block off an hour a day. So there's 30 days in a month, because I can spend an hour even on the weekends dedicated to this. So that's 30 hours a month plus the 26, so that's 56 hours a month. And I'm going to round it up. I'm going to round it up to make it 60 because, candidly, it's easier math for me. It's easier math for this exercise. So that's 2 hours a day, every day, that I'm going to block off. That's the time that I'm going to block off for the habits to help 500 people. So step number 3 for me is to set the habits that will lead me to connecting with these folks. So what can I make automatic that will lead to success? So I have to reach out to 10 people a day in order to help 500. Because I figure there's 250 work days in a year, and I'm not going to reach out to people on Saturday and Sunday. I don't want to interrupt people's weekends. I don't want to bother them on the weekends. So my outreach is going to be Monday through Friday, but my research, my work time is going to be 2 hours a day, 7 days a week. I have to create habits that will make this automatic. So I'm going to dedicate from 6 to 7 every day to my ProVisors outreach. And then I'm also going to dedicate from 5 to 6 in the afternoon every day to my ProVisors outreach. So 6 to 7 in the morning and 5 to 6 in the afternoon. I'm going to break it up, and that's my 2 hours that I'm going to dedicate every day. And I'm going to do that dedicated time 30 days throughout the course of the month. And I'm blocking the time. So what the time blocking does, by the way, and I'm creating the habit of what I'm going to do during those 2 hours. What the time blocking does, by the way. And I'm interchanging these two, blocking time and setting habits, because they're so interrelated. The time blocking is what creates the habit. We prioritize what we invest our time in. So by putting this time on my calendar, I'm prioritizing this activity, and I'm making it so that it's important to me. It's on my calendar. It's immovable. If I'm in the car, I'm going to have a laptop with me and my hotspot so that I have an internet connection. And I'm going to do it if I'm in the car and somebody else is driving. I'm going to do it if I'm on a plane. I'm going to do the research if I'm in a hotel room. And then the outreach, email, direct mail, telephone, I can do all that from wherever I am. I can have a laptop with me and do that on a remote basis from wherever I am. So the blocking of the time is important. And then the habits, the individual habits, what I'm going to do during those hours are going to be divided up into thirds. The first third is research. I'm going to find people that I can help, identify them, create a list, and then dig into the best way to get in touch with them. And then I'm going to create a plan for each person for a 3-step outreach process. And that's the second third of the hour. So for each person, I'm going to determine if I'm going to do email, direct mail, telephone. I'm going to write down the message that's important to them. I might include in there LinkedIn direct messages too. That's the second third, is to create a plan for reaching out to them with a message and the delivery method. And then the third portion of that hour is spent doing the outreach to those people. So if I'm reaching out to 10 people per day, 5 days a week, that third hour, so that third 20 minutes is spent sending the emails, getting the direct mail set up in the system so that the direct mail letters go out, and then potentially making the phone calls. So that's why I split the time up each day between 2 hours. So the hour in the morning, I may dedicate a third to research, to setting up the system, to the messaging. And then the hour in the afternoon, 2/3 of that hour may be spent outreach, particularly phone outreach, because I can get a hold of people later in the day from 6 to 7 in the morning. Not a good idea to call people. So the 2 hours is going to be broken into thirds, and I may lump 2 of those thirds together if I need extra time for something. The key is to set the time and then write down what the habits are going to be in the specific blocks of time. And that's how you make habits automatic. Now, we talked yesterday about consistency, and I'm going to apply the consistency here to set the habits. And the rules for the consistency that I applied yesterday are going to apply to these habits as well. The first 30 days are going to be sloppy. The next 60 days is going to be spent refining the system. And then 75% of my time after that is going to be mastering these habits. I'm going to make the habits easy, and I'm going to make the act of doing this the reward in and of itself. So this habit section, that consistency that I talked about yesterday, is going to apply. So these things are building on each other. And then the fourth habit is to set up a milestone for check-in and accountability. So what's working, what's not working, that's what the check-in accountability is for. And whether it's weekly, monthly, I recommend more frequent check-ins for accountability than less. So weekly is probably good. Assess what's working, assess what's not working, allow a fair amount of time. So a week for this practice is a fair amount of time, and then adjust based on the results. So to recap, I define what winning is for this situation. And the example that I'm using is 500 ProVisors members, helping 500 ProVisors members this year. Block time for this. I'm going to block an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening to do this. And then I'm also going to block off the time that I'm going to spend in meetings. Set the habits. So what can I make automatic to lead to success? And I'm going to do that by dividing the hours into quarters of an hour and dedicating each quarter of an hour to something, and reaching out to 10 people per day, 5 days a week, but investing 2 hours per day over 30 days in this task for a total of 60 total hours per month. And then setting up check-ins with accountability on a weekly basis, looking at what's working, what's not working, and adjusting. And remember, winners focus on winning, and losers focus on winners. That's your Daily Dose of Dave for today. I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Thanks for listening to this edition of the Inside BS Show. My name is Dave Lorenzo. If you'd like to apply to be a part of our community, please join us by completing your application directly with me on the phone. You can call me at 786-436-1986, 786-436-1986. I can't wait to speak with you. Join us by calling me today.